Okay, driving again. In Dallas. Leaving an area of Dallas, because this is the only way to go to a screening tonight. So, I was supposed to go to a school event thing today early, that's why I got off work early. And then the school event got canceled. So I was like, well, I fucking already asked off. And it's like late in time. I don't know what I'm going to do to fill in the time. And then I saw this morning, sorry about that, I'm making a big turn, so try to be careful before I talk. But I saw this morning that there were going to be early showings at Alamo Draft Houses for the brand new M. Night Shyamalan film, Knock at the Cabin. And it's pretty early showing, like over a week early showing, because it doesn't play until February 3rd, and today is January 25th, so it's a bit over a week of an early showing. And yeah, so I saw it, I booked me a ticket, I got a slightly close seat, not too close where it ruins the movie, but I was a slightly close seat, and I don't know, it was on my most anticipated list. If you watch my video on that, it wasn't in my top 15, because there's so many this year, I had to do a top 15, and I wanted to do 5 honorable mentions that are still like kind of in it, if you call it a top 20 list. This was in the top 20, it was actually my number 16. I went between Megan, which was my number 15, and this pretty heavily on which would be my number 15 and 16. But they were on an equal level, and I just really wanted to say Megan because it looked goofier. But Knock at the Cabin had me interested. I thought the trailers were pretty compelling, like not in a major way, but they looked a bit interesting. It looked like Dave Bautista was going to get a leading dramatic role, which is pretty cool. I don't know if we've seen him in that yet. Like, we've seen him in Dune, we've seen him in Blade Runner, we've seen him appear and stuff. But in terms of like a leading dramatic role that's way more serious in tone, I don't know if we've like fully seen that like in a big theatrical release yet. And that's pretty cool because that's what you're getting here. That, and it's based on a novel. M. Night Shyamalan did not fully write this. This is based on a source material. And I haven't read the source material, but everyone always tells me it's a pretty fun, intense little book that they recommend checking out. And I haven't checked it out, but I do want to read it after seeing the film. Which I guess would go to show that, yeah. I thought this was a pretty fun film. Yeah, when things come to debate, I thought this was a pretty good time. I didn't think it was a masterpiece by any means. I didn't think it was really anything grand. This could be a spoiler up front, but it's not a spoiler, I promise. In a way, it's just weird to word it. This is not your typical M. Night Shyamalan film. In fact, this is the least M. Night Shyamalan film I've ever seen. What the trailers are selling you on is what the movie is selling you on. So if you're ready just for an intense time, an emotional time, a kind of heartwarming time in parts, that's what you're going to get. That is exactly what you're going to get from this movie. There is no grand, weird shit happening that makes you go in like, oh, like some M. Night Shyamalan films. Nor is it like Split. I'm going to tell you, this doesn't connect to like the Glass universe or some shit. He didn't take the novel and do it. He kind of just, from at least what I can tell, is he did the novel itself with a few extra changes here and there, is what it seems like is going on. I haven't read the novel, so I don't really know. But it isn't something crazy like The Happening, and it's not like entirely his own source material like Sixth Senses, if you know what I'm saying. This is something different. It's also not like old. His style is there in parts. It doesn't really feel like an M. Night Shyamalan film, though. It just feels like a really well done, solidly acted, fairly intense thriller. It is the best way I can write it. It's the well done, solidly acted, heartwarming near the ending, emotional, dark, well done thriller. And it's not anything amazing, but I would say it's really good. I do want to see it again because I feel like now knowing fully the story, I feel like on a second viewing I could have even more like of a connection to see what to look out for. But yeah, in terms of like films from, M. Night Shyamalan, this is probably, I would say, the best I have seen from him since Split. If not, I would say just as good as Split, I think, is at the level this film is at. This is a really well-made, solidly executed, entertaining thriller. Our theater was silent the whole time. By the time it ended, I heard like y'all in discussions going like, "That was good. That was a good film. I enjoyed the film. That was pretty cool. Good performances." Like I heard that all around. If you're probably here, you're probably wondering like, you probably want to know how Dave Bautista is. Honestly, I thought he was great. I thought he was really good in this role. It's not a role that's like fucking mind blowing. It's an interesting little role. Let's say he has to balance humor and emotions and being intense and dark and action. He has to balance all of it kind of in one character, because if you've seen the trailer, they're telling everyone up front like, hey, I will tell you this you guys have to make a choice to sacrifice one of yourselves or the world will end. That is why we are here. We are not here to directly harm you or anything like that. That's what the film is, and and it's confusing because he has to be a convincing character, but he also has to be the aggressive character. He just comes off as that. You see Dave Bautista, and you're like, this motherfucker could pound me to a pulp with 2 punches, and I'd be dead instantly. Like, this guy's it's Dave Bautista. He's built. He's a pretty freaky guy, but he also has to find the way to charm and be heartwarming and have connections to these characters, make them relate to something and understand something that is just far beyond their comprehension of like the end of the world. And when it comes down to it, it's very well handled. All the supporting cast is great too. Rupert Grint, if you guys know Ron Weasley, I believe he's also in the show that M. Night Shyamalan, I think he directed a few episodes of, and he writes, and he's like the creator of it. Is it called, I don't want to get it confused with two, there's another show that has like an S-E in it, I can't remember. Is it Severance? Is that the show? I'll have to look it up for sure. If I'm wrong and Severance is like another show, then, fuck me. But I know the show that he's done, I believe it's on Apple TV, and I've heard good things about it, and I know Rupert Grint is in that. So he's clearly worked with M. Night Shyamalan before. And that's probably why he got this role in this as one of the 4 people. And everyone in this film is good. There's not a bad performance in here. This is just a way to kind of showcase some solid performances all around. If you had to ask me the standout, but at least for me, between Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, and Dave Bautista. And they are the 3 main characters. They are the ones with the most screen time, as well as the daughter. I don't know who plays the daughter. I'll have to look that up. But in terms of the 3 core performances, they're all really goddamn good. They do stand out among the rest, and they have a lot of things to go off of. And this movie's short. Before the credits, it's like 94 minutes long. They played no trailers before the movie. I was walking out of the theater at 8:35. It is 8:54 right now as I'm driving home. So these are thoughts directly after the movie. But yeah, like it was kind of like an immediate, quick-paced, well-done, solid, entertaining, well-acted thriller that I did really enjoy. And I think that a lot of people are going to feel the same. I don't know if this is going to blow up. I'm very curious the reviews it gets. I could see a lot of critics going like, it's just extremely basic. There's like not much there. But if you set your mind to the fact that there's not going to be much there anyway, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you really have to have your mind set to the fact that this movie is not going to be fucking eclectic and crazy and like wild and all out there, if you know what I mean. This film is going to be fairly simple, very effective, and entertaining. And I think if you take that into mind, you're going to have a good time. There's not much to it that, again, is crazy. This isn't old in the way that out of nowhere it's just like, oh, you're wondering why these people are aging and dying, and then it has some batshit twist to fill in the last 30 minutes of a story. This is a straightforward story almost through and through, and it's very well done and well executed, and I do want to go see it again. At the moment, maybe potentially my second favorite film this year. I've only seen 7 films this year, so you're probably going, that's not saying a lot, Zach, but like every film I've given so far, I've given a 6 out of 10 or above. I've enjoyed every film I've seen this year minimally. I will say, it's not basic in the way that like Plane is the most basic action thriller I've seen in a while that just does everything kind of like, yeah, okay, here we go. It's not like that, and that film I did not find. I know everyone said the plane crash is intense. I didn't feel it. I wasn't really like on the edge of my seat being like, holy fuck, this plane crash is so intense. I've seen more intense plane crashes in movies, and fucking there's been ones in real life that are more obviously more effective than real plane crashes. There are more effective plane crashes in this fucking movie. God damn it, you know? Yeah, so just like, yeah, overall, good ass movie. I recommend people going to check it out if you have the time. Comes out wide release next week, February 3rd. It's a good film. I would like to see it make money. I don't know the budget on it. I can't imagine it was like extremely high. It's a pretty contained film. The most I could imagine was going to the cast. There's some big, actors. Dave Bautista is not a small actor now. He probably gets a decent amount of pay. You got Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge. This is probably good pay going there. But overall, there's not a huge visual effects budget. It's definitely not M. Night Shyamalan's biggest film by any means. But it is a damn good one. In terms of ranking it amongst his films, I'd put it below Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs. Those are my three. Signs is my favorite, probably as a personal thing. Unbreakable and Sixth Sense are Unbreakable's probably above Sixth Sense for me, but I adore Sixth Sense as well. And then it would be a tie between Split and this. I'd have to see Split maybe one more time pretty soon, but yeah, you're gonna like it. It's a good M. Night Shyamalan film. If I had to guess a Rotten Tomatoes score, I bet this gets a 70, but I do think some critics are gonna be a little harsh on it, but there's not much to be harsh on. It's just a pretty damn good film. And I did really enjoy my time here. Yeah, I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I gave Skinamarink that, but I feel like this is probably more rewatchable because Skinamarink is just unsettling and experimental. This is a bit more up my alley, and I'm sure a lot more people's alley, just as an average. But yeah, Fair Movie of the Year probably is still Megan. But if I see this again, that could change. Skinamarink I really liked. Yeah, it's been a good year for horror and thriller. Almost everything I've seen is a horror thriller, except A Man Called Otto and House Party. Those are the two things I've seen that are comedies, comedy drama. But even Complaint is a thriller. This is gonna be a good year for horror. I just heard get off subject, but Raka Raka, their YouTube channel, I used to watch them when I was a kid. They did the Crazy Violent Ronald McDonald videos. Their film is getting a shitload of great buzz of a horror film called Talk to Me they made that is blowing up at Sundance, and A24 apparently acquired the rights. It's some good shit. That makes me proud. Shelby Oaks is coming this year from Chris Stuckman. And dude, we got way more horror to come. That's not just it. We got fucking Evil Dead Rise. This is gonna be a packed year. Horror and superhero movies are the two things I feel that the box office is thriving off of right now. And that's great that horror is one of them, because horror is probably my favorite genre, even though I love all genres, as long as it's a good movie. And damn it, as we're still here in the review for Knock at the Cabin, I'll say it, Knock at the Cabin is a good movie. 7.5 out of 10, go check it out. Could this be the first film to go to premium? It's not super big, but I could see it in Dolby. Finally taking over Avatar, because Avatar's been there for fucking goddamn weeks now. I don't give a shit what it is. Put Knock at the Cabin in Dolby or IMAX or some shit. I really just do something else, please. I don't want to have to wait all the way till fucking Ant-Man to go in the Dolby theater again. I'll go see this again if you put it in Dolby. Put it in Dolby. Do this movie. I fucking just go for it, please. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, even though you can barely see me. I hope you enjoyed listening. And I didn't crash yet, but I probably could. I hate driving home from Dallas, man. This shit's just crazy. It's not my use. I can do it, but I don't like to. It's certainly not thrilling for me. Yeah. This week, in terms of videos, I'm gonna try and do an Oscar discussion on the nominees. I'm gonna be seeing Tar, Everything Ever All at Once, and Banshees again in theaters this week. So I'm not going to be seeing any new movies. I think Infinity Pool is really the only new thing coming out. And I'll see it at home, or I'll watch it a different time. I do want to see it, but I want to focus on the Oscar nominees that are out now. While the old ones are coming back to theaters, my friend Noah hasn't seen fucking anything, so I'm going to go with him, and then we're going to watch Triangle of Sadness at my house. We're also going to check out what I haven't seen, All Quiet on the Western Front. Women Talking I also have not seen, but I can't find screenings of it. When I do, I will make sure to review Women Talking, because I want to see that film, and I also want to review it prior to the Oscars. But besides that, I will have seen everything. So yeah, an Oscar video with me and Noah coming this week. Me and him, after each movie, I'm gonna try and record a video about that movie. Yeah, so excited. Yeah, that's it. Check out Knock at the Cabin. That's the end of my video. Bye-bye.